Okay guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how to print your lino cut. I want to make sure I have all of my materials, so I've got a registration board, I've got my carved block, I've rinsed it in the sink and it's nice and dry, has to be totally dry. I've got my printing mat, I've got my brayer, I've got whatever ink I want to use, as well as a plastic rectangle, my protective piece, my baren, my test piece, and any papers I want with my name on the back. I also like to keep kind of a damp paper towel nearby. All right, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out if my picture is vertical or horizontal. Well, my picture is vertical, so I'm going to turn my registration board to the vertical side. If my image were horizontal, meaning side to side, I'd flip it to the horizontal side. But since I'm vertical, here I go. And I'm going to put it where it says put your lino block here, face up. Make sure the top of my block matches the top on the paper. And I'm going to line it up so that it is lined up with the top of my paper, and just try to keep it the same position every time for consistency's sake. Okay, I'm going to roll out my ink. For my first image, I'll just start with this beautiful turquoise. I'm going to start with less ink rather than more. To begin, I can always add more if I need it. And remember that we're trying to roll it in a nice little square. Trying not to get too big of an area. That will dry out our ink. So we'll keep it in a square so it stays nice and workable. Okay. And that looks a little bit like Velcro. That's the right consistency. We know we're good to go. All right, my brayer is loaded with ink. I'm just going to roll it over the surface of my block. Refuel if I need to. Nice. Until I have a nice even coating. Now I can already see there's a little texture. If I didn't want that, I could carve it out, but I actually like it, so I'm going to hang on to it. I'm going to lay my test paper over my board, lining it up with the paper image on my registration mat. Line it up. Drop it. Once it's on, don't move it. If you do, you'll get a smudgy image. Put my protective paper over the top. Then with my baren, I'm just going to apply some nice firm pressure, trying not to wiggle the paper, otherwise I'll get a smudgy image. Nice firm pressure, holding it with one hand, moving it around, making sure I've got the whole image. You don't need to take too long on this step or your ink will dry, but just make sure you've got nice pressure. Pull off my protective paper. See how I did. Okay. At this point in time, I'm going to check my image and see if I want to make any changes. If I don't want that little line, I can carve it now. If I didn't want those lines, I could carve them now. This is just your test to make sure that you like it. I think it's pretty good, so I'm going to hang on. And I could do another one just on blue. I'm going to show you how to do kind of an ombre today. So I'm going to take a little bit of white, and careful not to get it on my blue. I don't want to contaminate that white. I'll put a little bit above. Please don't put any colors back in here or we'll contaminate that whole thing. But I'm going to come in here and we'll do, For the ombre effect, I'm going to need a larger brayer. So I'm going to come in here and have it light on the top and darker on the bottom. If you're going to do an ombre, you can't change the direction or it'll just become a big mushy color. So it's a little bit trickier to get that consistency. I can't go that way or it will all become light turquoise. If I want it to be the ombre, I just have to keep it going one direction, like the band. Okay. It's a little bit thick up top. I might pull it down a little bit thin in the center. Again, careful not to mix your colors and put them back or it will contaminate all of your ink. I could take this one and spread it out inside here. I'm getting a little messy here. It's okay. All right. If this were just me, I'd take some time and make it a little bit cleaner, but I don't want you to have to wait, so here we go. So I'm going to roll it across the surface. Oh, I like what's happening. Okay. Might be a little thick at the top. We'll give it a try. and select my first color paper. I'm going to lay it over the top. Don't move it. Once you've got it, don't move it. Put your protective paper over the top. Then with my baren, apply some nice even pressure. Okay. Make sure I've gotten the edges. Lift up the protective paper. Lift it up. There we go. That's my first pull. You may notice a little bit of the transfer image on there. That will go away after a couple pulls. I can also tell you how to get rid of it. I'm trying to get at least 3 quality prints. So here's one. I want to match at least 2 more. If you want to do, 10 quality prints, give them away to all your friends and family, that's fine. We're going to start with 3. This would go on the drying rack. I would see if anyone else wanted my inks. If I were done, I would clean my brayers, I would clean my plastic pieces, lids back on my inks, clean my inking mat, and I'd be good to go. Thank you.